Well, last week the Cavaliers had their press conference where they introduced Isaiah Thomas, Jae Crowder, talked about the trade, didn't talk about Isaiah Thomas's hip, and of course a lot of people immediately got all bent out of joint. Isaiah Thomas is not going to be able to play, this kind of stuff. All right, let's start with point number one. Here it is. Win a title. I know you've got to really like the artwork. It's things I spent hours on. But to understand the trade and what the Cavs are doing, there are three key points. Here we go. Number one is the pick. The pick they received in the trade for Kyrie-Irving is the Brooklyn first-round pick, likely to be in a top 5, at the worst a top 10 pick. And I know I've had some people say, oh, well, the Cavs are going to trade that pick for another player. Well, they could, but more than likely, they will trade their own pick. It's hard to believe, because it's been years since it happened, the Cavs don't have just one first-round pick. They have two. They have this Brooklyn pick, and they have their own. And as one top person from the Cavs explained to me, this allows us, this is the person talking, to trade that lower pick and still keep the higher one for a player at midseason. Last year, they used a draft pick, a first-rounder, to get Kyle Korver. And, you know, Kyle Korver did help them. So number one is the pick. Number two, part of the trade, Crowder. Jae Crowder is a really good defensive player. David Griffin, the former general manager, has been trying to trade for Crowder for a couple of years from the Celtics. He's under contract for 3 more years, and he's the kind of guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he starts, or at least he will play quite a bit with LeBron-James on the court. What Jae Crowder can do is take the best shooting guard or small forward, defend him, and allow LeBron to play what Tyronn Lue, the coach, calls center field defensively. And what you don't want LeBron to be forced to do is to have to defend the toughest guy, carry the offense, all those things. Crowder should help in that area. The third part, Isaiah Thomas. Now, this is the difficult one because we don't know when he'll be back. But let's go back to what is the goal. The goal is win a title. So that means I don't care whether Isaiah Thomas plays in November, December, January. I'd like to get him back sometime in February after the All-Star break. But I need him on the court, if I'm the Cavaliers, for 4 to 6 weeks before the playoffs start. So that's how I look at this thing. I'm not as alarmed by the fact that Isaiah is going to be out for a while. Yes, I would love to have him back. And I have to admit there's some trepidation in how he will come back. But the Cavs were wise not to give a timetable, because then what happens so often, you put a player in a timetable, if he's not quite ready, he comes back too soon, he gets hurt, the whole thing's a mess. What I'd rather do is take extra time, make sure Isaiah is ready to go, because remember, the goal is win a title. That's decided from the middle of April to the end of June. Now what happens in December or January or February.